The price of XRP is bouncing back. XRP holders are becoming emotional. Those who understand the market and the depth of this opportunity won't even be confused to take the next few steps with proper clarity because they understand why is it pumping. So now, why is it really pumping? Is it only the technicals or are the fundamentals evolving right now? Yes, it is. The fundamentals coming in at the right time as the price was at the support, and then we started getting momentum. These positive news and the price is kind of moving along with each other. So this is like the right time, the right price. So if you got in at the support as we highlighted previously, now you are in green. Now just being in green is not you want. You want that ROI in the total market cycle, that total run up, right? So these positive news and the price bounce are looked at like an investor, not like a short-term trader. Using our TA skills, you will be able to understand why these are so beneficial. Now, why you should ride this wave. Now, the technicals are limited. Yes, I agree. Technicals are limited as it's the science based on historical price movements and it won't be able to give you that actual top or bottom of a full market cycle. But while you're inside that market cycle, except the top and bottom 10%, you can get the rest of the information based on your pattern analysis, time series analysis, or even trend analysis, or at least combining all of these. So that kind of gives you the ability to understand the market. So this is an area we bounced. Okay, I agree. If you go back on February 3rd, 2 days back, I showed you that this is the support. RSI is showing you that rising trend line. We are still moving upside. The chances are we may move to the upside from here. You can see the price was 0.38 back then. Then on February 4th, I told you this. That's yesterday. We are forming this rounded bottom. RSI is in a checkmate pattern and then the MACD is anticipated to cross to the upside. So now you come here and look at the 4-hour chart. You see that the anticipated movement in the MACD is complete, in the RSI is complete, and then automatically the price bounced above the moving average. If you have it out, go back here, look at what we were looking at in the RSI, MACD, and the pattern. So when you combine all these, you got in early. So that means you are already in profit and you don't have stress to ride this wave. Now, while you ride this wave, there are things you need to consider. Because if we are getting resisted at some point, there is a lot of guys who will just be emotional, and you don't need to be that guy who just becomes emotional, every now and then and move your portfolio, which impacts your portfolio pretty much. Now, we are now among the certified institutions for its excellence, right? RippleNet is certified by SOC. Now, that's a huge news. Why? Because this is after the scalability requirement demands to meet that digitized economy, right? So they offer that flexibility and scalability which that digitized economy needs. And saying this is going to eat the entire market is not a bad thing. So that's why I'm saying this. We, XRP, are going to eat the majority of the market in the finance side. So the market capital, when you're talking about, I'll say this is one of the main reasons for that. When you enter into a digitized economy, you're not looking at the energy eating stuff. Instead, you go look at IMF, BIS, whatever documents you want to look at, which is considering this aspect. They will all show you one stuff, that is sustainability, green and energy efficient networks. Welcome to the Scientific Investor channel, where we discuss crypto and science behind investing regularly. Now, you see the total market cap, it's for total 100 at the top. Yes, I agree, but you have a lot others too. So when you look at these market, you need to reanalyze yourself. If you are in the right asset, that's okay. If you're investing in 5, 7, 10 assets, and you don't know which asset is on the right move for the ROI, you need to consider that. Because the fundamentals, yes, It will show you that direction where you're going to go, what the value should be. You will get an idea, but the problem there is you don't know how these patterns will evolve, and that's why we use technicals. See, this kind of shows you the fundamentals and the opportunities it is going to give you in the future. And these kind of news really shows how we stand out in the total market. When the price is staying the bottom in this market cycle, and there is a lot of naysayers and haters, that is the asset which you should be, because the fundamental has never changed. As Peter Lynch said, you have to understand, it is still valid right now. Peter Lynch kind of stated this: if you are in an asset and the fundamental has not changed, the price should not take you out. That means your gut feeling, you have to keep it out. That's what he states, and that's what I believe will benefit for you in this market cycle. Now let's really look at these opportunities. When we see the price is bouncing, yes, it's cool because we are bouncing on a 4-hour chart. The indicators are strong and it's cool. Now, if you are someone who is trading the market, you're here from the bounce or the breakout, and you would be looking at here till that 20% rise, or even the macro around 40%. Now, even that would be towards a short to medium term kind of trade, right? But XRP is an asset which gives you the maximum return on your investment if you are in for the long run. Now, the history repeatedly shows you that. Now, if you go to various different assets, you'll understand, yes, there are some who actually went way higher in terms of return on investment. But the question is, will they do the same in this market cycle? Do they have the same fundamentals to do that here? Or compare Ripple, do that have a lot of more fundamental movement so that it may move the price even higher than what it did last time? I personally think so. And if it is the case, where you should be. Now, these are the resistance which we have to keep our attention towards, because if we are able to break this, okay, that's cool. That would be like 0.46, and then the next resistance would be just below 0.58. So if we are able to break through that level, it's going to be bullish, because when you look at the total market, you can see green here, red there, green here, red there. Now, you ask my patrons, they'll understand, or they'll guide you on which assets we do. And if you really want to get on these stuffs which are really pumping, say one or the other, which you see here in green, which we are going through the massive pumps, we have already been in there. We never say, looking at an asset, if it is in a proper trend or pattern, get out. Instead, we say to take profits, because profits are what you are here for. You are investing your money to get that profit, not take that losses, right? So if you are doing your stuff properly, then you should be making your profits. If you're not, you have to reconsider your strategies, align your strategies in such a way that it adopts the market cycle, the direction of the market cycle, because if you are following the direction of the market cycle, then nothing can stop you. The macro trade pattern should be the desired direction even in the short term. So if you are looking at these type of charts, patterns for all these different assets which you have in your portfolio, which you are looking at to buy so that you can increase or maximize your gains, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description. Remember, this is the starting of the month, and when you enter here, you pay and you get what you paid for. Otherwise, say there are guys who come at 20th, 25th of the month and they have to pay the entire one, or else you'll have to go to a basic tier and you lose a lot of different perks for next 10 days, 15 days, depending upon when you run in. So the first 10 days of the month would actually give you that maximum benefit, and it starts depreciating from there. And when the market is actually pumping and it's in a bull run, that's when you actually have to consider these stuff, right? So when you actually go back into a weekly or a monthly chart in XRP, you will now understand what I told you guys last time. We had a weekly candle which bounced up, we closed up, then we were retesting this moving average. Now remember, 200-day moving average on a weekly is really interesting to watch. Why? Because that has done a lot of different reactions with the price. When we are maintaining this particular trend line, which is a macro trend line, and now that we are above this trend line in the RSI, That's bullish. Why? Because on a weekly, right now you're getting the MACD across to the upside. That means as you cross to the upside, you'll get more momentum. So right here, you are looking at a red candle with a long wick to the up and downside. That means price action is changing. We were in a bearish trend, we were consolidating, then we started a bullish trend. Now within that bullish trend, we are seeing a lot of volatility. That means a lot of new buy and sell is coming in. But buyers are trying to push the price to the upside, sellers are trying to push it to the downside. But at the end of the day, you are still near that area where you closed the last candle, which is around 0.48, 0.5. So once you are able to do that, close here, now you still have number of days to move in this week. So when this weekly candle closes and the next one opens is when you get the idea, right? But if you're looking at this market just like this, you'll understand what's happening. Now this candle will only give you the confirmation once it is closed. That's why we move into a 3-day chart or a weekly chart for those confirmations, because on a 3-day chart, this is what you actually see here. We went up, then you had a long wick to the upside. That means buyers are interested there, but you have a lot of sellers entering at that point. Now in that point, if you are looking at there, its previous resistance zone, it was acting as a resistance from all the way up there, right? So this is an anticipated wave of profit taking and sellers entering the market, because right now on a 3-day weekly, you are above the moving averages. Then you jump into a monthly chart and you still see that we are above the 50-day moving average on a monthly, where you get a monthly close like this. So that's actually bullish, because if you are considering this bullish candle and then erasing that bullishness using this red candle, now this candle of bullishness erased that bearishness too. But not everyone actually sees this. Now you saw a 4-hour chart in which we are looking at this pattern, right? The rounded bottom. Now come on and use a monthly chart and look at what you are seeing here. At least, if it's wrong, it's me, just my eyes, but this is what I personally see here. So if you are making this a rounded bottom and moving to the upside, it's going to be like a launch, right? A ballistic missile just launching from here. And if you want to miss this opportunity, it's completely up to you, because I don't personally think it's an opportunity to miss in this decade, because you are in an era where the blockchain is changing everything. Now, yes, there are first generation, second generation, third generation blockchains, but you also have to look at their efficiency, their scalability and adoption rate, who they are working with, and those guys who are working with them, what they think of these projects. And that's really important. Now, look at this. This is coming from a bank. That's Deutsche Bank. They put this one out and it actually shows you the energy consumption. So Visa is better, MasterCard is cool, Facebook Libra is kind of matching it with them. But when you look and compare with Ripple, you don't even have a comparison there. Now understand, this comparison is based on Ripple. So it would be just the Ripple net. Because I'm not sure whether they are using that for XRP itself directly. If it is not, then when they use XRP, it would even reduce that per transaction usage of electricity, right? Because its cost is actually shown to you in terms of dollar, or the units. So if you are looking at that, it will actually reduce. Now, even if it is varying 2 to 5%, that doesn't make much of a difference, I agree. But when you look at the macro scale, it would still give you more efficiency. Now, you can compare it with the cash system. You can compare it with others. Now, when you look at the cash system, you see that, okay, cash is way better than blockchain in most of the sense. Look at Dash, Litecoin, Bitcoin, Cash, Ether, Bitcoin. Bitcoin is not even in the league. You can even compare it as a payment mechanism. Okay, neglect that. But still, you can see that Dash is the only thing which is coming some way closer to the cash, right? But XRP is way superior to all of these networks, as Ripple, the company, positioned themselves into this asset class in aligning with that market. Now the finance and the payments market is so giant. This is one of the reasons you should understand. As we move further, you see a lot of adoption like this, and one of your partners with another guy, and you expand from there. So the multi-hop ability of RippleNet gives you that freedom of movement. And that's what you're going to see in next 2 to 5 years, widespread adoption and that tipping point where the banks would be jumping in. Because, you are seeing a lot of different assets pumping, but right now when you look at their fundamentals, it's not that classy. You're looking at, say, proof of work, Ether, Uniswap or whatever on that network, and you still see the gas prices being charged like hell. Do you really want to be on a network which is getting congested with these kind of fluctuation? Now, are you really looking at a worldwide adoption, or are you just looking at a city? Because, the number of people you are anticipating to enter into this market is huge. So as that much of guys come in, the requirement to reduce this will be more important, because if you need that widespread adoption, it's too much. You read this, Bitcoin uses a lot of energy because people who want a coin must compete for it by using mining operations that require huge amounts of computing power. Now, do you remember the statement made by David Tross previously? He clearly stated that no incentive is the best incentive. That's why they don't have mining. That's why they have pre-mined it. Now, looking at this, Ripple tweeted this one today, and they are highlighting Money Matched used RippleNet to reduce global transfer cost by 40%. What do you think their customers will be thinking right now? What do you think their competitors would be thinking right now? They'll have to act now or go bankrupt, right? The customers would be moving from one area to another one. Now, when we say all of these stuff for Bitcoin as a payment mechanism, right now it's evolving as an investing mechanism. Now the question is whether an investment should be based on its actual utility, or just thinking that it is a safe haven asset. It would be there forever. Even in that case, you would be looking at the technical, and I'm not that much bullish on that stuff. Maybe it can go to 45 towards 60 to 65 or 70, but I don't think these predictions of 500,000 or a million is going to happen. The maximum which you get in the trend analysis, pattern analysis, if you neglect the Elliott wave analysis and other theories, is like 115,000. Yeah, compared to here, that's 300% gain. But are you here for just 300%? Are you here for 10x, 100x or 1000x? That's the question. So when you are confused with your portfolio, looking at different assets, 10, 20 different assets, or even 5, 6 different assets, you can question, okay, I'm doing this. Am I actually doing this on a proper manner? Is my portfolio aligned with this market cycle? Do you see the pattern and trend analysis? Can you even anticipate the time? Now, that would be really hard to do, but you can get an idea about what you're expecting. Yeah, the market would be varying and you will have to improvise here and there. Even based on the ROIs, you'll have to do that. If the market goes up, now your ROI reduces. If the market goes down, your ROI increases. But the people get this wrong all the time. And that's why being an investor and thinking like an investor is really important in this market. Now guys, if you are looking at widening your portfolio in a way that you get the most of it when these venture capital funds are coming through towards crypto, you'll have to identify different assets. They won't be directly jumping into one asset. They would be moving into different assets. So opportunities are there. Opportunities are everywhere in the crypto market, but you'll have to look at the volume. If the volume is too small, when you see, there are some coins which really has a little volume. They say 5 or 6 members in my group, if they decide to, can manipulate all of these coins with, way less market cap. 690,000 is not a huge market cap. There are, guys who have invested $2 million, $3 million to $5 million. So for them, this is nothing. If 5 or 6 of them decide to manipulate this market, it's going to be easy for them. You see this? So don't get stuck in an asset which goes, pumps like 100, 200, 300, 500%, and you're stuck there. You can't take your profits out. So before you invest, always look whether it's in millions, tens of millions, or hundreds of millions or billions. That would be beneficial for you in the long run, so that you can take your profit out, not just look at that profit, but you can acquire that profit. Guys, I really believe you received value for your time, and if you really did, then please hit that like and subscribe button if you haven't done that already. If you want to get extra value for your portfolio, you can look at the Patreon. The link is given in the description below. If you want to support the channel, give extended shake hands, then you can look at the PayPal or the XRP wallet address given in the description below. I'll meet you guys on the next video. Bye for now.